here, and welcome back to my channel, guys. Today's video is a very special, very important, very exciting video. It is the official video for the January 2017 DiverseAthon. I can't, no sound effects. Yeah, just, okay. There. Oh, this has been a while coming. We've been talking about doing this, I think, since November. Our first DiverseAthon, which was last September, was very successful, and we felt passionately about continuing this movement, this initiative of celebrating diverse books, reflective books, own voices books, and bringing them to the forefront, challenging ourselves to read differently, to read more diversely. And I am beyond ecstatic that this is back. This is going to be yet another lengthy video for me because I want to really delve into what DiverseAthon is about, what I hope everybody gets out of DiverseAthon, what I intend for DiverseAthon to do for people. In hopefully sharing this information with you, it will help you be better or be more aware of what types of books you pick in deciding to participate in DiverseAthon. So let's get started with all the basic stuff first so you guys can have all of that information, and then I'll get into a little bit of the chunkier stuff. So let's answer the most basic question. When does DiverseAthon start? DiverseAthon starts Sunday, January 22nd, and it will end Sunday, January 29th. So it's going to be a Sunday to Sunday. DiverseAthon is honestly, you guys, a celebration of diverse reading. There are no challenges for DiverseAthon. I keep getting that question a lot. The challenge in itself, unfortunately, is finding books that are diverse. I will expound, discuss that a little bit more. Your hosts for DiverseAthon, this leg of DiverseAthon, which we're going to label as, DiverseAthon January 2017, is going to be me, Christina Marie, Monica from She Might Be Monica, Joss from Squibbles Reads, and then our new baby, Simon from Savage Reads. The four of us are going to be hosting DiverseAthon this time around. I know a lot of you will ask where Whitney is, and my girl Whitney has a lot on her plate right now, so she had to take a little break. What else do we need to know? Our group book. Last time our group book was Homegoing by Ya Gyasi. This time it's going to be, and I have the picture here because I can't insert it right here because I don't want to go through more than one editing program. It is going to be, here it is right here, zoom, focus. The Underground Railroad by Colson Whitehead. That is going to be our group book. I'm super excited about it. It won the National Book Award last year, and I'm just really excited about reading something that I typically don't read. So that's going to be our group book. We aim to have a day discussion time dedicated to the group book. We'll let you know about that further down the line, which leads me into Twitter chats and the hosts. Now, we're still trying to finalize who is going to be hosting what day and at what time. I can tell you right now what I know is that I am going to be hosting on Sunday, the 22nd, and Thursday, the 26th. That is what I know thus far. Times I'm still trying to figure out. Joss will be hosting on Wednesday, the 25th, and Friday the 27th. We will let you know again sometime during this week what the full schedule is. We'll post it in a graphic on Twitter and on Instagram and things like that. Hashtag for the event is, of course, hashtag DiverseAthon. It'll be the same throughout, however many times we do this. We want it to remain a easy way to find the conversation, to find other friends and have discussions, so on and so forth. So we always want to make sure that we're using the hashtag DiverseAthon when we're talking about DiverseAthon, when we're discussing whatever it is. New components to DiverseAthon this year, we are going to be incorporating bloggers a little bit more and Instagram a little bit more. We have a couple of people that are going to help with that. We have Mara from Book Marauder on Instagram. She's going to be hosting a bunch of tasks on Instagram that you can participate in if you're really prominent on Instagram. We have Naz from Read Diverse Books. He's a blogger, wonderful person. You guys already know who he is, I'm sure. He's going to help with promoting DiverseAthon. But what I am going to do, since I started off as a blogger and a booktuber at the same time, I am going to host a couple of tasks on my blog that you guys can participate in as well. My blog link is down below. What I'm going to do is on the first day of DiverseAthon, so Sunday the 22nd, I'm going to post my TBR, which I will share in this video shortly. I'm going to post my TBR and explain why I chose those books. And so I would ask that you guys who are bloggers or have blogs do the exact same thing. So use your blogs to post your TBRs and explain why you chose your books. Then on the last day of DiverseAthon, which is the 29th, I am going to post my TBR again. And I am going to, actually no, I'm going to post the books that I read and kind of share what I got from those books. And then I would, again, ask of you guys who are bloggers to do the same thing. Go to your blogs, post what you read during the week of DiverseAthon, and explain what you learned or what your experiences were with those books. The reason why we chose to do this time around is we want to make sure that we're involving BookTube, yes. We want to make sure that we're involving Instagram. We want to make sure we're involving bloggers. So it's all of us that are having the same conversation and participating in the same event, because DiverseAthon is not just BookTube. Just because BookTubers started it does not mean that it is just for BookTube. We want everybody to feel like they can involve themselves in some kind of way. So I will link Mara's Instagram down below. I will link, well, my blog is already listed down below. So you can have those resources. And hey, I'm a booktuber, I'm a blogger, I'm an Instagrammer. I may participate in all the facets. You are more than welcome to do that. Absolutely. So just kind of keep that in mind. There are other ways to participate in DiverseAthon other than participating on Twitter or, you know, just reading books. We want you to have various means of doing so. So that's kind of what we were hoping we were able to do this time around. Now, what I would like to do is kind of expound upon TBRs. I'm going to share with you what my TBR is, yes, but I want to give you guys some tips and tricks on how to pick your TBRs or what you should be thinking of when you're choosing your TBRs. Let's talk about my DiverseAthon TBR and why I chose the books that I chose. So, going into Bad Feminist by Roxane Gay. Roxane Gay is actually of Haitian descent. She is a professor, an editor, a commentator. She's very vocal in literature. I heard about her last year when I was watching a convention on racism or something like that, and she was one of the guest speakers, and I adored her. I loved her. Her candor, her personality. She will define herself as an acquired taste, but I gravitated towards her, and I knew I immediately needed to read her books. She's a no-nonsense kind of gal. She speaks a lot about her sexuality, about being someone who's of a bigger size, about being a person of color, and then she's a feminist. She's a hardcore feminist, but she deems herself a bad feminist because even though she is a feminist, she still gets it wrong. So this particular book here talks about her experiences in getting it wrong, but also navigating the world of feminism through intersectionality, and all of that, and being a person of color, and being a bigger person of color, and being a woman, and being, you know, all of these different aspects of her life coming together, but also while trying to be a woman. She speaks about how culture really starts to define who we are. And how we as a culture, we individually need to do better. So this book here is a collection of essays that Roxanne wrote that really demonstrates the various aspects of how society and feminism intersect. Then this book here, What Is Not Yours Is Not Yours by Helen Oyeyemi. She is a British Nigerian author who is very passionate about women's stories. That's not to say what this book is about. This book is a collection of short stories, quite frankly. So there is a lot happening in this one. There's going to be things that focus on magical realism, mythology, sexuality, race, gender. It's all in here. And the reason why I want to read this is because Jenna recommended it to me. What I really am intrigued about is how, since she's writing about all these different facets and all these different areas of diversity, a lot of them are coexisting together. There are a lot of coexisting realities within this book. And so I look forward to seeing how Helen ties things together, but also makes them stand out on their own. And it's just a really different perspective that I look forward to reading. Then we have good old Colson Whitehead and the Underground Railroad. Now, Colson Whitehead, because this is a group book, we all kind of had to chime in on what book we wanted to read, you know, as DiverseAthon hosts, and we landed on this book. And so I looked up the author, and Colson Whitehead, yes, he's an African-American author, but he's a very interesting person. He took a really long time to write The Underground Railroad, and the premise of this book, or the idea behind the book, is what if the Underground Railroad was actually a physical train? So what he wanted to do was bridge the aspects of imagination and reality and just kind of put them together. Basically almost tying the past and the present together, sharing the story of what the Underground Railroad actually did while making it a little bit, bringing a fictional aspect to it, but also tying it to the present. The Heart of the Railroad is a great interpretation of the African-American experience. The history is present in the book, but the imaginative aspects really help bring to light how connected and how prominent it is in the present. So I'm really interested in reading this book for the simple fact that it's going to prompt a lot of us to go back and reread what we learned in history. And I really look forward to that aha moment that I know I'm going to have. But I also want to know about the aha moments that I hope and feel that you all are going to have in reading this book. Because yes, it's fiction, but there are a lot of historical elements of truth that are tied into this book. When you are choosing your books for DiverseAthon, when you're choosing your TBR, the things that I hope you keep in mind are intent and authenticity. Who wrote the book? Why did they write the book? How are they connected to the story that they've written? And are they able to even share in the experience of the characters that they've written about? You may have heard about the hashtag own voices. That is really what we want to focus on when it comes to DiverseAthon. We want you to be reading books by authors with diverse backgrounds, authors who have been disenfranchised or who are marginalized or who can share in that experience. We want you to be reading stories that tell of those disenfranchised people, those marginalized people, those diverse experiences that quite frankly aren't as accessible or aren't as prominent as other stories. In the last DiverseAthon, I saw a lot of Sarah J. Maas. I saw a lot of Marcus Zusak. And yes, those are good stories. Those are great stories to read. But for the sake of this event, this experience, this DiverseAthon experience, those books don't fit the idea of DiverseAthon. So questions that I would ask when I am picking up a book, or when you are picking up a book and deciding whether to read it for DiverseAthon: is the author a disenfranchised person? Are they marginalized? Are they a person of color? Are they LGBTQ? Do they have a disability? Do they have a mental illness? Are they disenfranchised in some way? The person doesn't have to fit all of those categories, but ask those questions. When you are looking at a book, is the story diverse? Who are the main characters? What is the story about? What is it about the character that makes them diverse, or that makes the story diverse? If the book has a main character of color, and the story encompasses their ethnicity, the story surrounds them being a person of color, is the author also a person of color? We want to make sure that when we are picking books that depict a certain experience, we want to protect the authenticity of that experience. We want to protect the appropriateness of that experience. We want to protect the sanctity of that experience by making sure that whoever wrote that experience is able to share in it, is able to convey authentic representation. And I know this is a tough conversation, and I know that it's really hard to get it right, and I don't want you to feel like you can't mess up, because it's okay to mess up. But I want you to be aware of the books that you are choosing, the books that you are looking at. So now that I have thrown that boulder of information at you, how can you be more cognizant, more aware of the books that you are choosing for DiverseAthon? You can research those books. You can research the authors, read reviews. And when you read reviews from people of that background. So read reviews from people of color, read reviews from LGBTQ, read reviews from, people with mental illness or disabilities or whatnot. You want to make sure that you're arming yourselves with enough information to make a well-informed decision. I don't really think that Throne of Glass and The Book Thief are the best choices for DiverseAthon. And I say that with love, because I read both of those books and I enjoyed both of those books. But the intent of DiverseAthon is to celebrate diverse reads and reflective reads from authors and experiences that are often overlooked. Disenfranchised, marginalized people who, quite frankly, still aren't deemed the norm within society. That's what we want to do here. That's what we want to focus on. And so if you need help picking out books, message me, leave a comment down below, hit me up on Twitter, hit any of the hosts up, like Joss, me, Monica, Simon. Just communicate with us that you need help, because we want to make sure that you get the best experience out of DiverseAthon. We want to make sure that you experience the fullness that is DiverseAthon, the full experience, the full intention of what DiverseAthon is for. It's not about reading the most books. It's not about reading the books that have one person of color in it. It's not about reading somebody that has a book that has one gay character in it, and that gay character is only in it for the purpose of uplifting and allowing the main character to move forward in the plot. You really have to be aware of the intention of characters in books. If a black girl, and I'm going to use a black girl because hello, me, is in a book because her death is what's going to cause the white main character to go forth and be great, that's fucked up. That's not the kind of representation I mean when I say I want to see myself in books. I want to see more of me in books. So, yeah, I know that was a lot, and I know I didn't say everything the way that I want to say it. But that's what Twitter is for, and that's what the comments are for. So if you're confused about anything, you just tweet me or comment down below and we'll chat about it, okay? Okay. So, yeah, that's what we need to know about DiverseAthon. DiverseAthon should be fun, guys. It's going to be so much fun, but I also want you to get a little bit uncomfortable. I want you to be a little bit uncomfortable. I want you to learn things that you, quite frankly, you know, didn't think you needed to know. I can definitely tell you this book is probably going to make me the most uncomfortable, because I am one of those people. For the longest time I was like, well, I can't be friends with women because they're problematic and they're dramatic, so I have a lot of male friends. I've been there. This book, even in the beginning of what I've read, has made me feel extremely uncomfortable because it's calling me out on a lot of my behaviors, on a lot of the things that I help perpetuate and make worse for people. I've been called out in this amount. I've been called out quite a bit. Yeah, that's pretty much it. Bottom line, you guys, I know, like I said, it's hard. It's really hard. But once you actually try to look into the books that you are reading, to be more aware of what you're reading, it's going to get easier. It really is. But my request, my encouragement, my strong encouragement to you is that be more cognizant of what books you're choosing. Do the research, ask the questions. Don't stretch a book into the diverse category. Like I said, Sarah J. Maas's books are a stretch. They're a big stretch. Just ask. If you're not sure, ask. That's the best thing that I can encourage you to do. Please ask. Just ask. Please just ask. I want this to be an enjoyable experience. I want us to grow. I want us to have discussions. I want us to learn more empathy. I want us to learn more about acceptance. I want us to really understand why diversity in the book industry is important. This event, this movement, this readathon, I aim to really expose all of us into why diversity in the book industry, diversity in media is so crucial to us as human beings. Comment down below with any questions you have, any at all. Thumbs up this video if you enjoyed it. Make sure you subscribe to my channel for more videos from me. I am so excited for DiverseAthon. You guys have no idea. I'm so excited. It's going to be a really tough week for me because it always is on the emotional scale, but it is so worth it to have these discussions, you guys. It is so worth it to witness these revelations and these aha moments with you guys, to experience them. I really look forward to it. I adore this readathon, and I hope you guys gain something out of it. I really do. Thanks so much for watching. Bye.